In this video, let me discuss why startup fails. One of the major problems of the startup business is the market. Whether they have a little market or the no market of the product which they have built. Now there are some common symptoms. What are those common symptoms? Number A, there is not a compelling enough value proposition or compelling event to cause the buyer to actually commit to purchasing. B, the market timing is wrong. You may have entered into the market at the wrong time. C, the market size of the people size may not be enough and the fund is simply not large enough. All three combined or any one may cause the market problem. Reason number 2, the business model. All models are good, let me tell you, provided you can execute it well. Now there are some problems, practical problems we are facing in the market. One of the most common cause of failure of the startup business is that entrepreneurs are too optimistic about their product or the service they have built and to acquire the customers. They assume that they will build an interesting website, product or service and the customer will buy the product or the service. That may happen with the first initial phase. Then after that it rapidly becomes an expensive task to attract and win customer. In many cases, the cost of acquiring customer, which we call the CAC, is actually higher than the lifetime value of that customer, which we call the LTV. The observation is that you have to be able to acquire your customer for less money than they will generate in value of the lifetime of your relationship with them is stunningly obvious. Yet despite that, I often see the vast majority of the entrepreneur failing to pay attention to figuring out the realistic cost of customer acquisition. A large number of business plans that I see as a fundraising organization have no thought given to these critical numbers. As I work through the topic with many entrepreneurs, they often begin to realize that their business model may not work because CAC will be greater than LTV. Then the essence of a business model. A simple way to focus of what matters in your business model is to look at these two simple questions. One, can you find a scalable way to acquire customers? Can you then monetize those customers at a significantly higher level than your cost of acquisition? Thinking about those things in a simple term can be very helpful. Now, that can be more of a guidelines. The next point is the CAC versus LTV rule. The rule is extremely simple. CAC must be less than LTV. CAC means the cost of acquiring a customer. LTV is the lifetime value of a customer. Next point is the capital efficiency rule. If you would like to have a capital efficient business, I believe it is also important to recover the cost of acquiring a customer in less than 12 months. Wireless carriers and the banks break this rule, but they have the luxury to access the cheap capital. So, stated simply, the rule is recover CAC is less than 12 months. Reason number 3, poor management team. No business model, no product, no service, no website cannot run without the right management team. A good management team will be smart enough to avoid the reason which we discussed previously. Weak management team can make mistakes in multiple areas, such as they are weak on strategy, building a product that no one wants to buy, or fail to do enough work to validate the ideas before and during the development, or they are usually poor at execution, which leads to issues which product not getting built correctly. Another one is that this will build a weak team below them. Now, if I am in charge, then obviously I will not hire somebody who is more intelligent and more efficient than me. This is the human psychology. If you want to prosper as a good organization, you have to hire a good team, no matter how cost they will be, because a good team and the right team can turn into the best team for your organization. And also cost of acquiring a good people is also high. Even higher risk is that to retain them. So as an entrepreneur, along with the product, you have to give more and more importance in this particular segment, which we call the human capital. Reason number 4, running out of fund. Startup fails because they run out of cash. The key job of any entrepreneur or the CEO is to understand how much cash is left and whether they will carry the company to a milestone. Now, what are those milestones? Only an entrepreneur and the team can decide. Then what are the milestones for raising fund? The valuation of a startup don't change in the linear fashion over time, simply because it was 12 months since you raised your Series A round does not mean that you are now worth more money. It never. To reach an increase in valuation, the company must achieve certain key milestones. For a software company, for example, this might look something like the following. These are not hard and fast rules. Okay. Number 1, progress from the seed round valuation. The goal is to remove some major element of risk. That could be hiring the key team member, providing that some technical obstacles can be overcome to build a prototype, and getting some customers' reaction. Product in beta test. Again, I'm talking about only software. And have a customer validation. Note that if the product is finished, but there is not yet any customer validation, valuation will not likely increase much. The customer validation part is far more important. Now, this is also important to note that along with everything, the customer is also important. The product is shipping, and some early customers have paid for it and are using it in production, and the reporting positive feedback. Product and the market fit issues that are normal with a fast release of fund have been mostly eliminated. There are early indications of the business starting to ramp. Once the business model is proven, it is now known how to acquire customer, and it has been proven that the process has been scaled. The cost of acquiring customers is acceptably low, and it is clear that the business can be profitable as monetization from each customer exceeds the cost. A business has scaled well but needs additional funding to further accelerate the function and expansion. This capital might be to expand internationally, or to accelerate expansion in the land grab market situation, or could be fund working capital needs as the customer and the business grows. Then what goes wrong? What frequently goes wrong and leads to a customer running out of cash and the company running out of cash and unable to raise more is that the management failed to achieve the next milestone before cash ran out. Many times it is still possible to raise cash, but the valuation will be significantly lower. When to hit the accelerator pedal? This is very, very important. One of the CEO or the entrepreneur's most important job is knowing how to regulate the acceleration pedal. In the early stages of a business, while the product is being developed and the business model refined, the pedal needs to be set very highly to convert the cash. There is no point hiring lots of salespeople and the marketing people if the company is still in the process of finishing the product to a point where it really meets the market need. This is really a common mistake and will result the fast burn and the lot of frustration. However, on the flip side of this coin, there comes a time when finally becomes apparent that the business model has been proven. And that is the time when the accelerator pedal should be pressed down hard as the capital resource available to the company permit. For the first time CEOs, knowing how to react when they reach that point can be very tough. Up until now, they have guarded every penny of the company's cash and held back spending. Suddenly, they need to throw a switch and start investing aggressively ahead of revenue. This may involve hiring multiple salespeople per month or spending considerable sums on SEM. That switch can be very counterintuitive. Reason number 5, product problem. Another reason for the company fails is because they fail to develop a product that meets the market need. This can be either due to a simple execution or it can be a far more strategic problem, which is a failure to achieve product and the market fixed. Most of the time, the first product is a startup brings to the market won't meet the market need. In the best cases, it will take few revisions to get the product to the market fit right. In the worst case, the product will be way off base and complete rethink is required. If this happens, it is a clear indication of a team that didn't do the work to get out and validate the ideas with the customer before, during, and development period. All these young entrepreneurs, please do remember one thing. There is no right time unless you put your feet forward. If you like this video and if you have any queries, please send me a question. To the best of my ability, I will answer it. Have a good day.